Hello, everyone. This is Realtor Linda Peltz. I'm with eXp Realty, and today I'm here with Ken and Michelle from Hero Loan Teams. They're going to tell you all about the programs that comes available January. Take it away, Ken and Michelle.
Okay, thank you so much, Linda. I really appreciate that. I'm here. I'm the regional manager. I'm here with our lead loan officer, Ken, and we just kind of wanted to talk about all of the opportunities that people have to get into home loans. There are a lot of programs out there that help with home buying experience. So there's a lot of clients who are, I should say home buyers, potential home buyers who don't know kind of what they need in order to get into a home and think, oh, I'm not eligible for whatever reason, but they've never actually talked to a loan officer and they don't know what their options are. And
And all the
we
laws
know
change to where all the criteria changes. So even though they may have talked to one 5 years ago, it's all different.
It does,
that's
yeah.
right. Yeah. So in January, is kind of like when all of the programs that are available sort of get refunded if they've sort of run out of funds by the end. And maybe Ken can speak a little more to that.
Yeah, so we work with a lot of clients that may have been turned down with other lenders. There's various reasons why buyers think they don't qualify. They might think, oh, I have too much debt. They might think I have bad credit. They could have limited funds. Maybe they don't have money for closing costs or think closing costs are way more than what they actually are, or down payment, right? And so there are programs available for buyers that have less than perfect credit, have had bankruptcies in the past, maybe have some collections, maybe have some outstanding debt that needs to be dealt with. And also there's down payment assistance grants and programs available to help offset down payments. There's grants available to help offset out-of-pocket expenses with closing costs. Plus, there's lots of different strategies. When we connect with realtors like Linda and buyers, we can come up with a solid game plan to make, help clients become home ready to purchase, right? So even if there is a little bit of credit repair that needs to be done, we can look at that and strategically target areas and come up with a timeline, because homeownership is something that can happen for everybody. It's just about having the right strategy. And that's where the loan officer, that's where I come in, is to help with
Step
that strategy.
one, loan officers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, we can't do it without you. And what they buyers seem to think, I mean, it's like going into a store, you pick something up, you go buy it, you take it home, and buying homes are not like that. I mean, it can take months, sometimes, and we have to go through step one, which is get them ready, figure out how you're paying for the house. Once you figure out how you're paying for the house, if you need a loan, a lender like Ken and Michelle, then we need to get you over there. And I think another thing they don't quite understand is the different lending companies have different programs. They don't all have the same lenders in the background that they're working with, and some of them may be a little easier and some may be a little harder, right? So
Right.
even though you're in a predicament and maybe you don't qualify with one particular lender, maybe with another lender, guess what? If you can actually get the lenders to sit down and talk to you, there may be an option with a different lender because they all in the background are working with different loan companies. They don't all work with whatever Bank of America or some of the background ones. They work with a multitude of them, and not all of them are the same. So you got to talk to them, and you got to get to some good lenders like Ken and Michelle that will actually give you the information and let you know that these are the lenders they work with. This is what we can do for you, but this is what we need you to do to prepare for it. I mean,
Mhm.
sometimes, okay, yeah, if they're really up on their stuff, maybe they can come in and just walk straight in and get a pre-approval. More than likely, it's going to take a couple, 3 days by the time they get their paperwork into you. And then by the time you get it through underwriters, you're looking at another 10 days to make sure that everything's copacetic to where we know we're going to close these things. And then, that's another time we go find a house. That may not be immediate, but then again, if we luck out, I mean, bare minimum, you're looking at like 45 days. That's what
Right.
you understand. It's not like you get to take that house home tomorrow. So that's bare minimum. It can be a year before we get one closed for you. So you got to start somewhere. Start with Ken and Michelle and figure out what they can do for you.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is to take the fear around purchasing a home out of it and the concern around can I qualify? Let's actually see if you can qualify. And so some of the things we do, because we'll have clients that they don't want to have their credit run, right? Because they don't want to ding their score. So we can do things like a soft credit check that gives us the same credit profile, but it gives us the opportunity to say, okay, hey, if you work on this, this, and this, you'll be eligible to purchase a home. Or, hey, great news, you're eligible to purchase a home. We've also streamlined a lot of the process too, because we leverage software like direct underwriting to where we can actually have same day approvals.
Mm-hmm.
Worst case, if it's going to take a little bit of extra work, what I found to be successful with buyers that I've worked with clients is accountability. Everything in life is about accountability. I have clients that are on a 6 month, 8 month, 12-month plan to buy a home, and we
Mm-hmm.
do monthly check-ins. And for some clients, they want bi-monthly check-ins to make sure they're staying on top of saving money, paying down certain credit cards that need to be paid down, or just doing the following through with the strategy and the steps that we've come up with to make sure that they will be home ready. And all my clients that follow through with what the strategy, they buy homes. They do.
Mm-hmm.
So home ownership is something that can be an option for everybody, but it's not necessarily instant gratification. But to kind of piggyback off of what you said earlier, just because someone's been declined with another lender, there are general guidelines that conforming loans adhere to, and those are set by the government, and those do change annually. But different lenders have overlays, and sometimes they can be even more strict than the actual guidelines themselves, because the guidelines are a baseline, but there are going to be additional overlays, right? So, like, I've had clients that have been turned down because they had a 580, less than a 580 score, and they were told, oh, you can't do FHA with under a 580 score, it has to be 580 or 400. But that's actually not the case. We've done loans for clients that had 500 all the way down to 500 scores through
Mm-hmm.
FHA. And so there are different lenders that have uh, overlays that can be a little extensive. And then there's also lenders where, hey, we've got ways to work within the guidelines and still get this done.
I think the trick to finding a good lender is communication, right? Give them all the information, buyers. I mean, they can't do their jobs without it, but in the same respect, it goes the other way too. If the lender's demanding that you just pull the credit and they can't tell you any information, that maybe that's not the lender for you. You kind of need to become one with these lenders, in the beginning. And you if you find good lenders like Ken and Michelle that's willing to actually sit down with you and guide you, help you, check in with you. All they can do is give you the information, be there for you. You got to call them, I don't know, whatever decision you make. Hey, I need another car, call them if you're trying to get into a house. Don't just go out and buy $100,000 car, Maybe it's not in the budget right now. And maybe, their recommendation is, oh, for goodness sakes, just pay cash for a little cheapy for the moment until we get you in the house. I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
everybody's a little different, but I'm telling you, buyers, you got to become one with these lenders because until we get you in that house, we are riding a fine line. And we as realtors, all we deal with is the homes. It's these lenders that have the duteous predicament of trying to get you ready, and everybody's situation's different and all your decisions are different and the way you think and different things. So it's so important, in my opinion, that they really, if you find a lender that's willing to give you, sit down, go over it, find out what's going on in your life and giving you the time, then be courteous and give them the time and give them true information. I think that's so important because how we set the tone of the transaction is really step one, which is you and your lender almost need to become one. And then you need
Yeah.
to work as a team with whatever realtor you decide to get on there. And if we're not working as a team, our chances of getting this closed minimizes drastically.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly right. Yeah, we are all a team working together with the common goal of helping our clients get into a home and purchase a home. And information is key, and options, knowing your options are key. Having someone that sits down with you and goes over your mortgage options, because there's more than just one. And so empowering, what we do is we empower our clients by giving them enough information to make a well-informed decision. And that drastically increases the likelihood of success when buying a home. And it is teamwork. We are on the same team as our clients with our realtor partners, and it is important that we all work well. And communication is key for any team. Communication is the key.
Definitely. And I think a lot of times where it's given your industry maybe a little bit of a bad rap is they go on to these online lenders, never talk to anybody, right? They just tell them, well, this is kind of what's, my income, this is whatever. What they don't really have the background and really know what's going on in that person's life. They really need a local lender. They really need to, and I'm a firm believer in go to the office, talk to these people, get it face to face. If they're willing to take the time out of their busy schedule to talk to these buyers about what's going on in their life, then you need to give them the same courtesy and, be serious. If it's information that you can work with and they're willing to help you, whatever, prepare your credit or whatever needs to be done in your life, then they need to be courteous enough and get the paperwork in that these lenders need. But I think the personal aspect of it is so important, and you need to realize these people, when you find good ones, are actually on your side and on your team and want success for you. It's not like they're willing to give you the time, most of you guys, but there again, I think it's so important. Stay away from some of the online lenders and get to a local lender. Number one, it's really important in the transaction because a lot of times the listing agents will look, if it's Rocket Mortgage versus a local lender, they're going to take the local lender and accept their offer, right? Because they know they can work with them and they're here in town and different things. Rocket Mortgage, some of those online ones, they may tell you what you want to hear, but you don't really know what the payment's going to be. And you may be surprised at the end, maybe they haven't put in insurance or some of those back end things that a lot of lenders, I wish they wouldn't do that, only says, oh yeah, your payment's going to be around there, but they forgot to mention there's going to be taxes and insurance and all that right into where it's
Yeah, there's so much misinformation out there, and the misinformation comes from the internet, it comes from social media, it comes from our friends and family who bought a house 10 years ago and they think they know what's going on, even though the market changes daily. And like you said, the rules change every year and all that different stuff. And then on top of that, then they get these lenders who like aren't quite transparent and they say, oh, it's going to be this or this, but they haven't been really honest about the fees, or they find a program online that they think looks really good and they go to a lender and they say, hey, how about this program? And the lender doesn't really know that program all that well. And so they don't know the costs of that program versus the benefits so that they can tell them, hey, yes, this does work for you, or no, it doesn't. And that's what we really pride ourselves on at Hero Loan Team, is kind of that white glove concierge service. So when we talk to our clients about becoming home buyers, we find out all the information that we need to successfully give them that information, but we also provide them with all of the information that they need to really know what's going on so that there's no surprises at the end. Because I can't tell you how many times somebody gets into an escrow and then at the end it's like, oh, all of these fees went up. Right, exactly. So it's all about that information.
Calls and it's like, I'm not the lender. I don't know what you guys discussed. I wasn't there.
Right. But they do that on purpose sometimes, So for us, it's really, really important to be transparent, to be honest, to get all the information and to give all the information so that the buyer can be successful through the entire transaction.
Through the entire transaction. And us as realtors need to encourage, some of these questions that are coming through. Let's get your lender on the phone. Let's go over to their office if that's what we need to do, but let's figure out this answer for you ahead of time. Don't just have the question, and then never get an answer. And we as realtors, we really can't answer some of you lender questions. I can't stress enough how important it is that we work as a team and, do a three-way call if that's what we need to do. And so I always encourage my buyers, stay in contact with the lender. If he won't return your calls or answer your calls in the beginning, he's not the right lender. Let's get you over to a lender that we can trust, is going to be present, and going to get this closed for you. So I think that's vitally important. And I think the information which I learned today, I didn't realize that your programs uh, came available in January. I thought that was very cool that all your new whatever you have available
Yeah, yeah, it's replenished.
is
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
replenished.
replenished. And I suppose they're like grants and different things. I don't know
Correct.
exactly how they work, but that's interesting. I didn't know that. So hey, people, January is a great time to buy a house, it sounds like. Get over
It
to your
is.
lender. Let's start the process. And hey, if you need a great lender, get a hold of Michelle and Ken. And you want to give your information, we can go ahead and put that on there and make sure you get it to me afterwards, and we'll include it in the articles. But give us your information again. So important.
Okay, well, so you can always go to heroloanteam.com and get in touch with us there. If you want to reach us individually, you can always call our cell phone numbers. Mine's 559-314-6760. Ken, if you want to give yours.
Yeah, so you can reach me by email, you can reach me by phone. So email is Ken, Ken, at heroloanteam.com. And then you can also reach me by phone at 805-590-9985. Again, that's Ken at heroloanteam.com, and the number is 805-590-9985.
Yeah,
Perfect. And
and
of
we
course, they
also,
can
I just
always
want to
get a
say
hold of me
too,
and I'll get them over to
that's
you.
what I was gonna say. We can always, if you're wondering about any of this, Linda is great. She's gonna be the best real estate agent to contact, and she can always get you in touch with Hero Loan Team. And we're a team with Linda, and then we'll get you
Definitely.
into the perfect home.
Perfect. Everybody, this was great. I love the conversation. Thanks, Ken and Michelle, for joining me. I will catch you on the next one. We're here for all you and your friends' real estate needs and questions. Just get a hold of us. My license number is 01997670, and I will include my contact information down below. Everybody, have a wonderful day.